You are lucky. You work inside the Pope's palace, where even the walls look fed. Outside the gates, people chew hard bread, drink thin soup, and call hunger character. But you stand beside silver trays, ovens, golden cups, and food that smells illegal. There is roasted meat, soft bread, fruit, thick sauces, and wine dark enough to look political.
For a poor kitchen servant, this feels like heaven with better tablecloths. Then the chamberlain points at you with a polite smile that already feels dangerous. Today, you eat before the Pope, which sounds like a miracle with seasoning. Congratulations, you have beaten every noble, bishop, and hungry cardinal in the room. You reach for the bread like a man personally invited by history. Then nobody else moves. The Pope waits. The cardinals watch. The cook stops breathing. The chamberlain says very gently, "Now we wait." And your blessing becomes suspicious. That is when you understand. You are not a guest, honored servant, or secret favorite.
You are the food taster, the palace's most nervous kitchen appliance. Your job is simple. Eat first, stand still, smile, and prove the meal is safe. If you look fine, the Pope may eat. If not, everyone learns from your face. At first, the job still sounds better than starving outside with wet shoes.
You get bread made from actual flour, not yesterday's crumbs held together by regret. You get soup with more than 3 vegetables and no mysterious peasant crunch. You get meat that did not spend winter losing an argument with gravity. So you taste the first bite. Nothing happens, except powerful men studying your throat. You taste the soup, still alive. The cook exhales like he won a war. You begin to relax, always the first mistake in any palace job. Then the cook brings a green sauce, smelling like herbs, vinegar, and a secret. The chamberlain tells you to take a larger spoonful, because courage has portion sizes.
Several cardinals suddenly become interested in your breathing, which comforts nobody. You swallow. The room waits. Your stomach makes one small, completely normal sound. Every servant freezes. The cook whispers a prayer. A cardinal grips his cup. You say it was only hunger, and everyone laughs louder than deserved. Now you understand the real job. You are not tasting food. You are tasting paranoia. Breakfast becomes a test. Lunch becomes an investigation. Dinner becomes politics with napkins. A visiting noble sends honey, wrapped beautifully enough to make everyone suspicious. The chamberlain opens it carefully, like the jar might contain sweetness or an argument. You taste it first. It is sweet. Too sweet. Maybe royal bees are dramatic. Now you must decide whether it is dangerous or simply expensive in a confusing way. Then comes wine, presented by a cardinal with a smile so calm it should be illegal. The cup is beautiful, the smell is sharp, and nobody blinks at normal speed. You sip, and for 1 second, you become the most important person there. Not because they respect you, because your eyebrows might become an early warning system. You blink, the cook gasps. You blink again, and the room prepares for disaster. You say the wine is strong. The Pope nods peacefully, and the feast continues. By now, servants avoid your chair because nobody wants the human alarm bell. The cook hates you because one worried face can destroy his masterpiece. The chamberlain likes you because you are cheaper than a miracle and easier to replace. The cardinals study you like a sermon with legs, and you try not to cough. The strangest part is that you are still hungry enough to keep doing the job. Luxury is dangerous, but roasted meat remains roasted meat, and your stomach has opinions. Soon you learn palace food has its own language of fear, ceremony, and blame. If bread is stale, the cook blames storage. If soup is strange, everyone blames politics. If wine smells odd, nobody says poison. They say interesting, which is worse. You also learn not to compliment anything too quickly, because enthusiasm looks suspicious. One evening, a small pastry arrives, decorated so beautifully it seems personally guilty. The chamberlain gives it to you first, naturally.
Beautiful things are always your problem.
You bite into it while the room watches like your mouth is a courtroom. It tastes of almonds, honey, and the chance that you should know more science. You survive, so the Pope receives one too, and everyone praises the cook's genius. The cook bows proudly, though minutes ago he was mentally planning your funeral.
Your reputation grows, not as a brave man, but as a useful stomach with shoes. Servants whisper when you pass. Some pity you. Some envy your leftovers. That is the cruel joke. You eat better than almost anyone, but enjoy nothing. Every sweet taste comes with waiting. Every warm bite comes with a room holding breath. Then the great feast arrives, larger than your courage and appetite. The hall fills with candles, guests, silver plates, velvet robes, and smiles hiding knives. The table stretches across the room like a battlefield made entirely of sauces. There are pies, birds, fish, fruit towers, spiced wine, and pastry shaped like tiny churches.
The Pope waits at the high table, calm enough to make everyone else nervous. The suspicious cardinal smiles from the shadows, exactly where suspicious cardinals prefer smiling. The chamberlain gives you the first plate, then another, then another. Blessings become paperwork. You chew while important people stare at your forehead for historical trouble. You swallow, while the cook sweats so hard his hat deserves confession. You survive the meat. You survive the sauce. You survive the wine with heroic confusion. You even survive the little pastry that looks like it knows a secret. At last, the Pope eats. The hall relaxes, as if peace was negotiated by your stomach. The guests smile. The cook nearly cries. The chamberlain pats your shoulder like a loyal spoon. For one beautiful moment, you think the nightmare is over and reward is approaching. Maybe you will be promoted to carrying candles or anything involving less chewing. Maybe someone will give you extra bread without making your pulse part of the ceremony. Then the chamberlain smiles again, and you know that smile is never good news. He says tomorrow is another feast day with more guests, more wine, and mysterious gifts. You are lucky. You get to eat before the Pope, again and again. Unfortunately, in this palace, surviving does not free you. It only proves you are reusable.